Supervolcanoes are like a supervillains of the geological world, as stories of their looming threat grows ever more rapidly. Though supervolcanoes like Yellowstone poses real dangers, their threats are often misunderstood. What's more, very few volcanoes reach such a super status. There are about 20 known supervolcanoes on Earth, including Lake Tumba in Indonesia, Lake Taupo in New Zealand. You could compare it to an asteroid impact. The risk at any given time is small, but when it happens, the consequences will be catastrophic. According to United States Geological Survey, a volcano is considered super if it has at least one explosion that released more than 240 cubic miles of material, a little more than twice the volume of Lake Erie. That places it at a magnitude of 8, the highest ranking on Volcanic Explosive Index, which is used to measure the explosiveness of the eruption. These are very large eruptions, the impacts of which would be widespread, from avalanches of hot rocks and the gases racing down the volcano's flank to the global changes in climate. But there's an important caveat about supervolcanoes that most people commonly overlook. Just because a volcano has had a super eruption once or even twice in its past doesn't mean its future eruption would be just as big. These can cause long-lasting climate changes and trigger a small ice age and threatens the species with an extinction. Super eruptions occur rarely, only once every 100,000 years on average. But when they do occur, they have devastating impact on Earth's climate and ecology. But if Yellowstone happens to be on the brink of an eruption, the good news is that we will still see the warning. The ground would probably rise hundreds of meters, a lot more than it does now. We think Yellowstone currently has 10 to 30% partial melt, and for the overpressure to be high enough to erupt would take about 50% or more, as studies shows. If another large eruption were to occur at Yellowstone, its effects would be worldwide. Such a great eruption would have regional effects such as falling ash and short-term changes to a global climate. Those parts of the surrounding state within 50 kilometers that are closest to the Yellowstone would be affected by pyroclastic flow, while other places in the 1000 to 2000 kilometers would be impacted by the falling ash. The amount of ash would decrease with the distance from the eruption site. That ash was likely a third of a meter deep several hundred kilometers from Yellowstone and several centimeters deep further away. Tiny particles of volcanic ash covered much of the western half of North America. Wind carried sulfur, aerosol, and the lightest ash particles around the planet likely cause a notable decrease in temperatures around the globe. It would probably alter the global weather patterns and have enormous impact on human activity, especially agricultural production, for many years. At this time, however, scientists do not have an ability to predict specific consequences or the duration of a possible global impact for such a large eruption. But the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines was about 1,000 times smaller than the Yellowstone's largest known eruption. It caused temporary yet measurable changes in a global temperature. The sulfur dioxide gas emitted from the volcano interact with the atmosphere, which cooled the Earth's surface for 3 years following the eruption. This eruption that sends fine ash and gases high into stratosphere, forming a large volcanic cloud that drift around the world. Sulfur dioxide in this cloud, about 22 million tons, combined with water to form droplets of sulfuric acid, blocking some of the sunlight from reaching the earth and thereby cooling the temperature in some regions by as much as 0.5 degrees Celsius. At the height of an impact, global temperature dropped by 1.3 degrees Fahrenheit or 0.7 degrees Celsius. A similar phenomena occurred in 1815 with an cataclysmic eruption of Tambora volcano in Indonesia, the most powerful eruption in recorded history. Tambora's volcanic cloud lowered the global temperature by as much as 3 degrees Celsius. Even a year after the eruption, most of the northern hemisphere experienced the cooler temperatures during the summer months. In parts of Europe and in North America, 1816 was known as the year without the summer. Such eruptions usually form calders, broad volcanic depressions created as a ground surface collapses as a result of withdrawal of partial molten rock below. But that doesn't mean that we should all start freaking out. The odds of that happening that thankfully pretty low. Unfortunately, the chances of this sort of eruption at Yellowstone are exceedingly small in the next few thousand years. Among other things, we know that volcano is capable of burning states like Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and Colorado in 3 feet of harmful volcanic ash, a mixture of splinterated rocks and glass. That much ash could kill plants and animals, crush roofs, and short all the sort of electric equipments. A volcanic eruption that big would have a major impact on the global climate. Volcanoes can emit sulfur arsenic that reflects sunlight back into the atmosphere, cool the climate. These particles are short-lived in an atmosphere. The effects are also temporary, but it can still be traumatic. You could compare it to an asteroid impact. Risk at any given time is small, but when it happens, the consequences will be catastrophic. Super eruptions occur rarely, only once every 100 million years on an average. But when they do occur, they have devastating impact on Earth's climate, ecology, and living things.